Hello, wonderful TLIS teachers. I'm making a short video to just go over all of the final wrap up of the Teacher Institute. I've gotten a few questions, and I feel like if some people have questions, then probably a lot of you have questions. So I'm going to do a quick video to talk through it rather than just send an email. Um, so I'm put three slides together. The first one is our goals, which you're all aware of, but I just wanted to say I do hope that this institute, that you feel it's built your capacity for integrating environmental literacy and sustainability and action projects into your core instruction. Everyone's very excited to see all the projects, and I'm so appreciative of everything you've been doing. Um, so here are the final deliverables that I emailed about a couple weeks ago. And first off is the highlights slide. So there is a slide deck at this link. You already have a slide with your name on it. Fill in that slide. Collect the photo releases if you use images or video of any students with their faces showing. This slide will be posted, the deck will be posted on our website ultimately, but also we will be printing the slides as posters that become your visual aid during your 10-minute ShareFair presentation at the public celebration event on the 27th. So every person should have their own poster, even if you worked in collaboration with other teachers at your site. You have your own students and you have your own lens of how your students were impacted by this project. So make your own poster. You can definitely coordinate with your colleagues, but we want everybody to tell their own story of their own students. And yeah, so I think that's, I tell people for this, the format is up to you, in that I didn't want to restrict people to saying like, this is our whole project and give an overview of it, because your presentation is only about 10 minutes during the share fair. And I encourage you to think about what is the most powerful part of your story to share during that. So for some people, it is a nice overview of the vision of the project and the steps you went through to work on it with your students. But for others, it might be a specific aspect of the project that came up as being like a really powerful part of your story. And so if you were to run into a colleague and they asked you to tell you about this project you're working on with your students, I encourage you to think about what would you want to share with them that is the piece that you're most excited to share with someone, and have your presentation be about that part of it, with some background information so people know what the context is. And so whatever on your poster will help with that kind of a presentation, put that on your poster. So that's it about the highlights slide slash poster. Those are due April 18th so that I have time to get them printed before the event. The other deliverable next is the attending on the 7th day of the TLIS, which is a 9 to 2, like all of our other in-person, the main days of the TLIS, at Seymour Marine Discovery Center. And then the public portion of the day is in the middle from 10 to 12. So you'll come at 9 and we'll get ready for the public part, and then we'll have a wrap up as a group from the Institute that's not public as well. So that's, there's also a flyer linked here to share with families and your school community. It's a free event and we want everybody to come and celebrate you and your students. Then the third thing is the Green Classroom profile document, the Google document, and then presenting at the event, which I just talked about. So those green classroom profile documents are due Wednesday, the 23rd, so that they're finished by the time you're doing your presentations on the 27th. These are in the TLIS planning spreadsheet in column H. I'll show those. Again, we'll need photo releases if you include pictures in there. And let me just, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I wanted to go to this. So in the TLIS planning spreadsheet that we've been using all along, you'll see the planning tools were what we started work with. Those were your messy sandbox to do your planning of your project. Those are never public. Those are for your use only. But the final one that's due on the 23rd is public. And so knowing that, write with an audience in mind that doesn't know about the TLIS, and also, keep it more concise, like it's not your planning document. So don't, try and keep it concise enough that people won't be overwhelmed by the amount of content in it. And this is what the template looks like. You've probably looked at it already, but it mirrors the first one, the planning one. So if you did use the planning one a lot, you'll probably want to copy and paste into this public document rather than having to rewrite everything. It was intended to make it easier for you to finish this because you've already worked on it in the other thing. So there's a bio, there's the background and context part. There's the part about your vision, which most of you did complete in the other planning doc, so you can copy and paste and just clean it up for external audience. The overview of your project, and then the implementation story. If you have not finished your project, that's okay. Just write it and say, like, we're still in process and we plan to do X, Y, and Z by the end of this school year. And again, pictures can be inserted. Just get those media release forms. And this section is the one we talked about in the 5th meeting of the Institute, where you're trying to share evidence of the impacts of your project, evidence of the educational impacts. So from your curriculum, what learning did you see your students had? Ecological benefits, if you possibly were able to measure any benefits to the environment, either quantitatively or qualitatively, if it's more like encouraging people to be stewards. The community and culture benefit is also more about like stewardship and increasing students' sense of connection to nature. If you did the surveys with your students before and after for the nature connection, the results could go here. Or actually that they go here. The students' impact on sense of connection to nature is a separate row there. And then just your overall sense of the project. So if you're at a loss for how to share the evidence, on the 5th meeting we looked at this document together that had examples for primary, for elementary, middle school, and high school. And these are real examples from past projects where people wrote those benefits in early on. And so they're examples with a little more concrete ideas for what kind of evidence you could talk about. So you can take a look at those if you're wondering, oh, I don't know what kind of evidence, what they mean by evidence for the benefits, to the ecological benefits, culture and community, and educational benefits. So you can take a look at that if that's helpful. And it's linked in the slide deck as well. All right. And then, so that's the Green Classroom profile. And then the final program survey is the last deliverable, which is just a Google form that I will give the link to on the 27th, and you'll have a little bit of time at the end of that day to work on the survey. Some people finish it then, but other people really like a longer amount of time for surveys. So it's not due until May 3rd, but we do need it done then in order to wrap everything up and process the stipends with the districts. And just know that it's going to ask you for some data on like how many times your students went outside, how much time the average student spent outdoors, what outdoor learning sessions happened as field trips, which ones were on campus, and again, those impacts on the students' environment or community. So having some of those, like maybe notes of what field trips you went on would be helpful. Okay, so those are the deliverables. Highlights the 18th, the slide the 18th, the green classroom profile the 23rd, and then we'll see you on the 27th to present, and then May 3rd for the survey. And this is the agenda for the 7th. We'll arrive at 9 and give an overview of the day and have some time to quickly prepare for the rotations. Everybody will get about 10 minutes, and so you'll get to go to your colleagues' presentations and hear them, and then it'll be your turn, and then you can go back to other people's again. And that'll happen between, this is roughly 10 and 12:15-ish. And then we'll have a public recognition ceremony with all of the community that's come to celebrate you. Some individual reflection time, really quick in nature out there in the beautiful surroundings. Then lunch together, just our TLIS community. And then the survey and closing by 2. Okay, that's it. Feel free to email me or call if you have questions. And I will see you on the 27th.